remember one thing, I wrote that down too, that really, even as I must have been 7 years old, I mean, it was quite a while before we had to flee. Again, as a child, few weeks seems quite a while, I don't know, it might have been 8 years old. Hitler's birthday was on the 20th of April, and that was just after the Easter vacation always. You know, it's, we used to, every vacation, long weekend, we went to my grandparents' farm, father's parents, you know, they had a nice big farm, the cousins were within walking distance on the farm, you know, boys who later went to Siberia, but they came to the West again. And I mean, of course we went there, you know, by train, I guess half an hour by train, whatever it was. Nobody had cars. And my mother always let us stay till after Hitler's birthday, and that means we missed a few days of school. School had already started, and always gave us some excuse not feel. And I do remember strictly, I was in elementary school when I gave my teacher the note. She was a young woman, and she read the note, and the way she looked at me and in front of the class, well, she says, I don't believe it a word. You just were, your mother didn't want you home because of the air raids. We always had bad air raids, Hitler's present, they called it, you know, naturally. She says, you all should be proud to die for Hitler on his birthday in an air raid. And my golly, I was so young. And also, we were all indoctrinated in school, of course. But, you know, even to me then, he said, what good would that do? I'd thought to myself, you know. And I told her later at home what the teacher had said, you know. I felt bad about it in front of all the others, you know. And she says, oh, think nothing of it, just forget it, you know. She just didn't talk about it. See, they had to be careful, you know. I never remember much talk about it. I do remember only one thing. Then it must have been Pearl Harbor. No, I must have been 6 years old, 41 Pearl Harbor. I remember only with neighbors must have come in for, you know, sitting around a cup of coffee, and they all were, the adults were all talking, now we have another Kohlenklau. That Kohlenklau used to be a propaganda thing. It's really a thief of coal. Coal is heat. I don't know, Kohlenklau it was called. You used to have everywhere signs with Kohlenklau. That was somebody, you know, crouched over like a tramp with a big bag of briquettes or coal on his back. That was coal. That means don't talk about anything you know about the military. Kohlenklau will hear you, and that was a bad thing. And that's like, I guess they meant we have another enemy. And now America was in a war because we were alien with the Japanese on there. Attacked Pearl Harbor. I remember them talking about that. But that's, otherwise, I remember air raids. One night, the Russian air raid, we didn't even go into the shelter. Sometimes when it was too noisy around, we heard it somewhere, you know. We had an oak dining room table, we used to crawl under that, you know, as if you would do in a hurricane, you know. And, but the second night then was always the alien, English, and that's when we went to the shelter. Definitely, I mean, you had your assigned shelters, you know, were a bit stronger enforced. But again, like I said, nothing was ever hit in that little town. There was nothing to hit. You know, they knew what they were bombing. You know. There apparently was no electric work, and we did have, I found out later, more Russian prisoner of war there. There was a work camp. I do recall as the little kids in the morning when they went, I get to work somewhere, I don't know, in a whole kind of a parade. And they were always singing very, well, in Russian, you know. And I remember that as kids, and we were always told not to go near there. And then I found out later on from my sister, when she had gone back 5, 6 years ago to East Prussia from Germany, well, West Germany then, that they're all, in the first winter or second winter, they didn't even have shelter for them. They all had, where they were sleeping in the woods, and they were all froze to death. They had a monument. She saw a monument for them was built later on. Isn't that horrible? And we were living there and didn't know about it. I know we didn't know about it. So there must have been like workforce in the summer, and then they just left them in. I don't know about that. It's horrible memory now when you think, you know. But they must have gone through, because the East Prussian winter is horrible. It was like Russia and Canada and Alaska.